Alright guys, so I did my little segment today on episode on Home Depot. I did buy a couple of things. I've got my first call tomorrow is a Delta shower valve. The cartridge is giving the guy a problem, and just so that I'm prepared, I made one of these tools in the past, but I think I gave it to a friend of mine. Just because it's so easy to make. What you need, and they do sell these at Home Depot, you can get a 2.5 inch 2-hole strap. It's going to be 2.5 inch 2-hole galvanized strap. You're going to need 1.5 inch Fernco. Only the rubber, you're going to have to buy the whole thing, but you only need the rubber, which goes right inside of that. And you're going to need, I've got an 8-inch piece of galvanized 1/2 inch and a bolt, which I can trim up. Just a couple of washers and a nut and bolt. So the idea is, what I'm going to do is, this is the shower valve, and you can see that this, I'll try to do this. I've got a very small tripod here. I'm going to try to show you. So what I need to do is, this would be the valve in the wall like this, and what I need to do is take this strap and I need to bend it so that these things are facing each other, and this is closed a little bit tighter. So I need to do that on a, I've got a big bench vise in my shop, and I'm going to go do that. You guys can bend it any way you want, the best way you think will work. You can heat it up, get it red hot. It'll probably bend a little easier. But I'm going to go get this thing bent, and I'll come back and show you how I do this. The other thing that I need to do is, I need to crush one end of this. I need to make it flat so I can drill a hole through it, so that when this thing's together, it's basically going to be a wrench like this with a rubber gasket inside. So it's a great tool. It's easy to make. I would say just, you probably should have some of these extra nuts on your truck if you are doing a lot of service on Delta, because sometimes you have to cut them off, but it doesn't affect, even if you got into the threads that hold this nut on, this bonnet nut, it doesn't matter, because the seal is on the inside. I'll show you what I'm talking about. The actual seal is an O-ring seal on the inside, so you don't really have to worry about cutting into these threads to get an old nut off, because you don't want to obviously go too deep and get inside the valve body. But I'm going to put this thing together and I'll show you. It's really easy, and I've used them a couple of times and it works so good. I gave it to a friend of mine, and he's used it, and we'll see. Let me go bend this thing up. All right, guys, so the first thing I need to do is try to get this strap bent around this valve, and this is a pretty tough strap, man. I can tell you that, and I'm sure somebody's gonna have something to fucking say. I mean, it wouldn't be YouTube, but I'm just gonna try it with this big pair of channel locks. It seems to be working pretty good. I'm just trying to bend this around, and then I'll adjust my channel locks a little bit and do it a little bit more, a little at a time. Should do the trick. Scooby-Dooby-Doo. baby. Alright, so now I'm gonna stick this thing in here on my vise and make sure I'm actually getting this. So I'm just gonna stick these two pieces in the vise and continue to bend it around. Get these things closed, basically. So I bought this vise and I get home, it's a Harbor Freight vise, and the other round part on the end of the handle wasn't there. So, of course it's some fucking wackadoodle-doo fucking thread. So I'm just gonna bend this around like so. And you end up with this, basically. Okay? Now I'll show you what I'm going to do at this point. I need to make sure that these things, you can see that that's a little bit out of round. It's not, we don't have the same angle. It's really not a big deal. But, you know, Johnny's a fucking veg head, so it's got to be right. Alright, that's probably good enough, I would say. Yeah, that's a little better now. I'm going to take a hammer and try to shape this thing a little bit. Scooby-Dooby-Doo. That hammer, that's not going to last. That's going to be good enough, guys. The bolt holes are lining up. So here's my Fernco. I'm going to take it like this. I'm just going to cut it in half. Like that. I'm going to work from this side, and I'm going to cut one half of this off, leaving that divider, you know, that the piece of rubber that would go between the pipes. I'm going to leave that. So I end up with this, basically. It's got a little collar. And what that collar will do is it'll ensure that this is on that valve correctly. Understand? Then I take this, open it up. I gotta drill these holes out because this bolt that I bought is a little tight. I just need to make these a little bit bigger. Give me a minute to do that. Alright guys, so I'm going to drill this hole out. I've got these vice grips holding these holes where it's supposed to be. Doesn't matter if it's I'd prefer to have it a little loose, you know. That goes against conventional wisdom, I know. Yeah, I know it. So the bolt goes in. Got a washer for this side and a nut for this side. What I need to do now is I need to crush the end of this pipe my nipple. I'm going to put a 1/2 inch nipple on the, a 1/2 inch cap on the end of this. And that'll be, you don't really need more leverage than this. You could get a bigger handle, but I like this because it's going to be small enough. And I'm not, this is a new style Delta valve. For any of you guys who've been doing this shit for a while, you remember that the Delta, the old style, had some 3 copper tubes holding this portion of the valve body to the nose cone. And it's very easy, when you're trying to muscle this nut off, it would be very easy to twist that shit off the back. And then you just have to replace the valve body. So in the event you do have those 3 pipes in the back, if you're on an old style valve, you're going to need to make sure you're not twisting this body by getting a pair of channel locks in there and really watching this. So let me go ahead and crush this. I really don't want these threads on here, so I have to cut these off first. Alright guys, so I've got this thing flattened out as much as I need it. I'm going to drill this 3/8 hole through here. Clean that up over here on the grinder, and go from there. Guys, that's going to be good enough. It's a little, you know, not the prettiest thing you're ever going to see, but it works, man. So let me get my shit together here. We're going to put this in like this. That's hot. That end, that's the hot end, boys. Fuck, I hate when I give these guys something to go on. It just bothers me. Alright, so this is the wrench. What's nice about it is you can angle the handle away from the tile so that you're not going to cut your hand on the tile, your knuckles. And what I like to do is, you'll see that this is pretty tight with this gasket on here like this. See, I need to open that up a little bit, which is great. That means it's going to be the right size. So I need to, that motherfucker's hot right now, so gotta be careful. But I just want to open it up a little bit, and then I'll be able to stick this thing on. I'm going to cut this bolt, guys. You know, these are live shit. I'm not, you know, out here fucking making every video perfect. What I need to do is open this up a little bit. That's it. Get this thing on here like this. And I like to have this open portion of the gasket. See this? I like that to be just like that. Alright? You take your bolt, put your handle in here. Kink it together. Yeah. I can't fucking believe he's doing this. It's such a stupid fucking idea. Jesus Christ, I never have a problem with fucking Delta. Good for you, you prick. You got an old saying. Bite the bag, asshole. Bite the bag. That's what I tell you. Yeah. So let me get this finished up. It's going to take me a second because I don't have the tools I need. My truck and all my good tools are out on the truck. So you'll see what this turns into, man. It's a badass tool. Johnny's fucking Sunshine Original. Yeah, baby. It's a monkey flipping a football. Fuck do you guys want? It's 5 o'clock on Sunday. What the fuck do you want, eh? What the fuck? I'm not fucking Tony Baloney, eh? Fucking Johnny Sunshine. Yeah. Alright, let me find my washer. Here's my washer. Alright, let me get a wrench, guys. Finally. Let me finally get a fucking wrench. Yeah. Look at this. Nice new set, man. Yeah, baby. Pittsburgh tools, man. The shittiest tools on the face of the earth. Brought to you by Harbor Freight. Have them. These are metric. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. That's a metric set. So this is a great wrench to have in conjunction with this set. You want to just make sure that this guy is all the way out to the front on this, on the nose cone of the valve. Ideally, if one of these nuts were welded, it'd be a lot easier to do this. But you can see what we're getting at here. I lose control. So that's it, guys. The handle can move out like this, and I'll show you how it works. You put this valve body in this vise, and I'll show you. It works pretty damn good, man. Just saying. Alright, so this would be what you'd come up against in a wall. You put this thing on. Obviously it's not gonna move, but because I'm filming, it will. It's not gonna move when it's in the fucking wall and soldered in place. So I need, yeah. This is the view from the side. Basically, you can adjust this to, you know, you don't want it right up against the tile. You can put the handle out like that. You don't want it like that. You want it like that. And then just, boom. That's it. Spin it all the fucking way around. And here comes the nut. I've said that a few times. Here comes the nut. Yeah. So that's it, man. It's pretty simple. Easy tool to make. This is obviously out of round a little bit. You can see, which I need to try to bang that into shape. It'll make it a little easier. But it's a cheap tool to make. Let me go out in the front, get a galvanized cap, and I'll show you the finished product. You guys can make it yourself. It's easy. It's better than a strap wrench. Probably cheaper than a strap wrench too, to make your own. So I need a galvanized cap, y'all. Let me go in my junk drawer here. Half-inch galvanized cap. Throw it on here. That's it, man. Nice fucking tool. 2.5 inch 2-hole strap. 1.5 inch fern coat. Cut it in half. Leave the rib in the middle. That's the one you're gonna need. I can shorten this bolt by about 1/2 inch just to give me plenty of room. Flatten a 1/2 inch piece of galvanized. Drill a 3/8 hole through it. I'll probably put a pipe wrench on this and tighten it down. But while I have this like this, I'm going to try to pound that into shape, because you really want even pressure all the way around that nut. That's the issue with these things. So it's going to be easy. It's a lot easier than it looked that time because I don't have my tools with me. It's easier if you have a socket and just click, 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 and a crescent wrench, tighten it down on the bonnet nut, and that's it, man. So I hope you enjoy this. I hope you make your own, and if you make some tools, share them. You know, you can't take it with you, guys. Just share it. This is the rest of the shit that I bought today. I bought a couple of these flanges that have the long, they're like 3 inches instead of 1 3/4 inches, 3.5 inches. I bought one of these guys, which is basically like that yellow one that I used the other day. This is another one, the same thing. Little heavier. But I like how thick these are, and I like plastic flanges, man. Plastic flange is way more strength than you need to set a toilet, and if you need a metal ring because you're always breaking plastic ones, you tighten it down way too tight. So this is a great part that I bought to have on my truck for, let me see here. Just want to make sure I'm getting all this stuff with this camera, man. This goes on a tower. You know, it's obviously the center part of a tower. The water runs down through the middle of it, hooks up on the top, hooks up onto this yellow piece. I did buy some blanks for some boxes in case I have to extend an electrical for a water heater. I got some, I got a little 3/8 cold chisel for chipping around hose bibs because these idiots in Florida don't know how to stub shit out right and finish it off correctly. But I bought this so that I could close my gate where the dogs, pool cage. I've got a little Sammy here. This isn't really a Sammy, it's just an anchor that you need a drive tool to drive that pin in. And so I'm going to put that in. And that's about it, man. I bought some, I don't know why it cost me $275. I got to check that receipt, man. Even with my, seems like an awful lot of money yet, Jackson. Oh, I got filters for my house. I mean, for my customer's house, yeah. All right, guys. Delta tool for removing the bonnet nut. Make yourself one. That's it, y'all.